कृष्ण पदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome back to the Bhakti Shastri Nectar of Devotion series. We discussed in 3 classes the preface. We did a thematic study of the preface. And as we had discussed in the first class, that we will in our Bhakti Shastri course not only be doing the summary study of Srila Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion, but we will be doing the verse by verse study of Srila Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. And along with that, the commentaries given by Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. That is why this course is going to be more in detail, because it is very important. It is the most important science on devotional service. And we mentioned the reasons why we are doing so. Because although Srila Prabhupada gave teachings of Lord Chaitanya summary study, but later on he gave Chaitanya Charitamrita. Although Srila Prabhupada gave the Krishna book summary study, then he wrote the commentaries on the 10th canto, and further his disciples completed the 10th, 11th and the 12th canto. Similarly, as in one lecture Prabhupada says, as an emergency, now he has given us the summary study. So Prabhupada had this desire later on to write his original commentaries on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is a very vast book. It is, I told you, having almost 2,172 verses, 3 times more than the Gita. But in order to establish solidly the bhakti and the preaching and to give his disciples, he had written the summary study. And now, since the Acharya's commentaries are available, so that is why we will be referring to them also, and we'll be doing a verse by verse study. So today we will be beginning actually our verse by verse study of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay. So let me open the slides. Yes. So yesterday we completed the preface to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Today we will begin with Bhakti Rasamrita study of Sindhu study by Rupa Goswami with insights from Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion summary study and commentaries of Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Now, as we had discussed in the overview of the Eastern Division, Paschima Vibhaga, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is divided into 4 divisions, just like ocean is divided into 4 directions, 4 primary directions. And there are 4 waves in the Eastern Division. So we are now studying the first wave, And some of the main themes in the first wave is the preface of the summary study of Nectar of Devotion of Prabhupada, which we have finished. And now today we will be beginning with the Vastu Nirdesh Shlok of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Akhila Rasamrita Murti is the first verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, the first verse is Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. Similarly, Akhila Rasamrita Murti is the first verse. After that, there are other Mangalacharan prayers, and then there is the definition of pure devotional service and the characteristics of pure devotional service. And later on, there are sub-themes like what is the qualification for one to take up to bhakti. So that will complete the first wave. And there are 46 verses composed by Rupa Goswami in the first wave. So we will be all studying these 46 verses, verse by verse. Now let us go to Vastu Nirdesh. Now, every book begins with a Mangalacharan. Mangala means invoking auspiciousness. We chant the Mangalacharan prayers, Om Mangayana Timrandasya. So Acharan means, we begin with that. So Mangalacharan verse of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. But this Mangalacharan has many aspects. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned, Sei Mangalacharan hoy Trividha Prakara Vastu Nirdesha Ashirvad Namaskara. Sei Mangalacharan, this Mangalacharan, hoya Trividha Prakara. There are three aspects to it. What is it? Vastu Nirdesh, Ashirvad, Namaskar. So this Mangalacharan has these three aspects. This is there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela. Kaviraj Goswami offers his Mangalacharan verses, first 14 verses, and then he starts explaining these, what is this whole science of Mangalacharan. So this Mangalacharan has three aspects. One is Vastu Nirdesh, Namaskar, Ashirvad. Vastu Nirdesh means the defining object. Who is the actual object of this book? Who is the defining object of this book? And then Namaskar is offering obeisances. The author himself offers obeisances. And Ashirvad is what is the author giving benedictions to the readers, offering or invoking benedictions. That is Ashirvad. So all these three together constitute what is Mangalacharan. Now let us go to first thing, Vastu Nirdesh. So Vastu Nirdesh. What is Vastu Nirdesh? Kaviraj Goswami in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, first chapter, verse 24 says, Tritiya Shlokete Kari Vastura Nirdesh Yaha hai te jani Paratatvera Uddesh. In the third verse, Tritiya Shlokete, I indicate the absolute truth, who is the ultimate substance. Kari Vastura Nirdesh. So Kaviraj Goswami is saying that I have in the third verse of the first chapter of the Adi Leela, I have, given the Vastu Nirdesh. It is indicating the absolute truth, the ultimate substance. Vastu means the actual object or the substance. With such a description, Yaha hoite jani, one can visualize the supreme truth. Paratatvera Uddesh. So the absolute truth has been defined in Chaitanya Charitamrita in the first chapter, third verse. That is the Vastu Nirdesh Shloka of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let us go to the Vastu Nirdesh Shloka of Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is Adi Leela 1.3, because he has said Tritiya Shlokite. Tritiya Shlokite, I have indicated the absolute truth. So here is the Vastu Nirdesh Shloka of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yad Advaitam Brahmopanishadi Yad Apyastanubha या आत्मांतर्यामी पुरुष इति सोऽश्वांश विभाव षडैश्वर्य पूर्णो यह इह भगवान स स्वयंमयम् न चैतन्यात् कृष्णात् जगति परतत्वं परम इह. What the Upanishads describe as the impersonal Brahman, Yad Advaitam Brahmopanishadi. So the Upanishads, define him as the impersonal Brahman, is but the effulgence of his body. Tad apya asya tanu bha. Tanu means the body, bha means the effulgence of the body. Actually, it is actually the effulgence of the body. And the Lord is known as Super Soul. Ya Atmantar Yami Purusha. Atmantar means he is the Antaratma. He is the super soul. Who is the super soul? Is but his localized plenary portion. He is just a plainly portion. Sa Amsha Vibhava. So the Purusha avatars like the Karonadakshay Vishnu, the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, the Shirodakshay Vishnu, they are what? Antaryamis. They are super souls. And they are plenary portion. They are plenary portion of whom? Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. So the impersonal Brahman is the effulgence of Krishna. The super soul are his plenary expansions. And Lord Chaitanya is the Vastu Nirdesh of Chaitanya Charitamrita. But Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. That is being established here in this verse. Bhagavan sa swayam ayam na chaitanyat krishnaj. So there is no difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna. Both are the supreme absolute truth. Full with six opulences, Sad Aishwarya Purna. He is the absolute truth and no other truth is greater than or equal to him. Paratattvam param iha. There is no truth equal to him. So this is the verse of the Vastu Nirdesh of the Chaitanya Charitamrit, Vastu Nirdesh Shloka, which is indicating the absolute truth as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is non-different from Krishna, who is non-different from Krishna. So this is the Vastu Nirdesh verse of Chaitanya Charitamrit. Now let us come to the Vastu Nirdesh Shloka of Bhagavatam. This is indicated in Bhagavatam 1:1:1. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadyasya Tonvayaditaraschaartesha Bhigna Swarat Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Suraya Tejo Varim Mridam Yata Vinamayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. So in this verse, the absolute truth is, I offer my obeisances to the absolute truth who is Vasudeva, and from whom this whole creation, maintenance, and destruction of these universes happen. It is he who instructed Lord Brahma in his heart, and all the devtas are also bewildered by him. Muhyanti yat suraya. How they are bewildered? Just like in the desert, you see there is tejo varim mridam. You can see that there is water, but that is an illusion. So they are also bewildered. And this material world is the illusionary creation of Krishna. Yatra trisargom sham. But he is situated, dhamna svena sada nirastakukam. He is situated in his eternal abode, which is free from illusion. Satyam param dhimai. I meditate on that absolute truth, who is called as Satya. So the absolute truth, he is indicated here by the word, by the terminology Vasudeva. Now let us come to Vastu Nirdesh Shlok of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Now in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the Vastu Nirdesh is indicating Krishna, but in a different way, in a different feature. Now we are studying the first verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Akhila Rasamrita Murti Rasmara Ruchiruddhataraka Pali Khalita Shama Lalito Radha Prayan Vidurjayati. All devotees should try to practice this verse because it's a very, very beautiful verse to recite. So I will once again recite this verse. Akhila Rasamrita Murti Rasmara Ruchiruddhataraka Pali Khalita Shama Lalita Radha Prayan Vidurjayati. So this verse is the Vastu Nirdesh verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Let us see the translation. Krishna, the destroyer of all sin and the bestower of all bliss. That is the meaning of Vidu. We will come to that, how Krishna Vidu means all this. The very form of the highest bliss filled with all rasas. Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Krishna has many, many names according to his pastimes. Because Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is going to describe the science of rasa. So the ocean of rasa, the embodiment of all rasa is Krishna. So Krishna's name here, or Krishna is addressed here as Akhila Rasamrita Murti. That is the name of Krishna. Actually, the name of Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Or sometimes we have many names of Krishna based on ras, based on the science of rasas. Anyone can raise their hands and tell us any names of Krishna which indicate rasa. Please carefully listen to the question. Exclusively the names of Krishna which indicate rasa. Anyone can raise their hand and answer. Ratna Mataji has raised her hand. Okay, first let us give chance to Ratna Mataji. Yes, Mataji, one name you can tell.
Madan Mohan.
No, there is no rasa there exactly. Okay, let us try others. Pooja Mataji.
Madhav Prabhuji?
No. There has to be rasa in that. Surya Kund Prabhu. Let us see what Surya Kund Prabhu has to say.
Prabhuji, Radha Damodar.
No. Okay. Once again, Pooja Mataji has raised her hand. Let us give her another chance. Yes?
Shyam Sundar Prabhuji?
No. Okay, last I will give a chance now to Devendra Prabhu. Devendra Prabhu? Where are you? Yes, Devendra Prabhu?
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Danda Pranam. Prabhu, Radhika Raman?
No.
Okay, Rasaraj Krishna.
Yes, Rasraj.
Okay.
He is Rasraj. He is the king of rasa. He is the connoisseur of rasa. Okay, one correct answer I got. Now Mohan Rup Sham Prabhu has raised his hand. So yes, Prabhuji.
Govinda Aishwarya Rasa?
No. I am speaking about just based on rasa name. Rasaraj is one name which has been indicated. Govinda Prabhu can hold on for some time because I know that he knows the answer. Anyone else from the audience which indicate directly Krishna as rasa? In fact, you can take some deity names also directly which are indicating rasa. Anyone else? Okay, then we will give chance to Govinda Prabhuji. Govinda Prabhuji?
Rasa Shekhar.
Yes, Rasa Shekhar. Shekhar means, Shikhar, like pinnacle. No, Rasa Shekhar. Okay, any other names? Rasaraj, Rasa Shekhar, Rasika Raman. Rasika Raman. One who does Raman in Rasa. That is Rasika Raman. Can you think about any deity names which Prabhupada has established in any ISKCON temples, which directly speak about Rasa, Krishna as Rasa?
Ras
Anyone?
Vihari.
Huh?
Ras Vihari.
Yes. Where is this temple? Juhu temple, our head office in India. Radha Ras Bihari. He is Ras Bihari. So this is all, and there are many, many other names, but few we named. So Krishna is also another name of Krishna is Akhila Rasamrit Murti. Akhila Rasamrit Murti. That is the name of Krishna itself. So the highest bliss filled with all rasas, Akhila Rasamrit Murti, excels all. Jayati. Jayati means to excel all others in glory. Then he brings Taraka and Palika under his control. Now we will know later on, who are these Taraka and Palika. But Taraka, Ruddha Taraka Pali. Ruddha means to bring control. By how? By the diffusion of his beauty. Prasmara Ruchi. By his beauty, he brings Taraka and Pali under his control. He accepts or embraces Khalita. Khalita means to embrace or accept. Shamala and Lalita as his equals. And gives pleasure to Radha by his excellent qualities. Radha Prayan. So today, entire class will be devoted to understanding this one verse. Akhila Rasamrit Murti, Prasmara Ruchi Ruddha Taraka Pali, Khalita Shama Lalita, Radha Prayan Vijur Jyati. So today we will be devoting it. So kindly now hear attentively. Now, firstly, the subject matter or vastu. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned Dharma Projita Kaitavo Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedam Vastavam Vastu Atra Shivadam Tapatrayon Moolanam. Vedam Vastavam Vastu. I would like to show the verse because many devotees sometimes are not familiar also. So Vedam Vastavam Vastu Atra Shivadam. 1:1:2. Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam. So Vastavam Vasta, what is this? Factual substance. So Krishna is the real object. He is existing. The forms and objects of this world are all temporary and illusory. He is the real object of worship. He is the real eternal personality. And it is Shivadam, giving well-being. And if you worship him, Tapatrayan Moolanam. So here in this verse, it is mentioned that the subject matter or the vastu, as it is indicated in the Bhagavatam 1:1:2, of all the three books is Krishna. The three books refer to Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Bhagavatam, and the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All three are referring to Krishna, but in different features. They are referring to him in different features. Now, in the three Vastu Nirdesh shlokas which we discussed just now, we discussed the Vastu Nirdesh shloka of Chaitanya Charitamrita. We discussed the Vastu Nirdesh shloka of Bhagavatam. Then the Vastu Nirdesh shloka of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All three are indicating Krishna, but in his different features. The subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna in his Vasudev feature. The subject matter of Chaitanya Charitamrita is Krishna in his feature of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna in the feature of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the subject matter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Krishna, who is filled with all rasas, who is the connoisseur of all rasas, Akhila Rasamrita. So although all three Vastu Nirdesh are referring to Krishna only, but in his different features. Vasudev feature is the feature where he creates this universes, and he's Krishna, but in the role of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And here is Krishna only with respect to rasa. Krishna as rasa is being discussed in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and that is why Rupa Goswami is establishing right in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that this is the science of rasa, and we are focusing on the object of Krishna in his aspect as Akhila Rasamrita Murti. So now I hope a little bit understanding of what is the Vastu Nirdesh is clear, and how the Vastu Nirdesh is the same Krishna in different features in different books. And here it is Krishna in the form of rasa. I hope it is clear. Any questions now, up till now, before we go into the discussion of the verse? Now I'll give an example to understand this. Sachin Tendulkar. Now Sachin Tendulkar is in his different features in different scenarios. When Sachin Tendulkar is playing on the field in a stadium where all his fans are there, he has a different relationship with his fans, with the team players, with the opponent players, and there he's performing. And there he's an object of adoration or object of, greatness there. So Sachin Tendulkar is relishing a different kind of rasa when he's in the stadium performing his, batting there. The same Sachin Tendulkar, when he sits as a person who is giving a commentary of a match, the match is going on and he's sitting in the studio and narrating. As you know, Sunil Gavaskar also does that, right? So there Sachin Tendulkar is an observer, and he's also relishing because he knows the science of cricket and he's relishing that. So here Sachin Tendulkar is in different feature where he's giving a narration or the commentary on the cricket match which is happening live there, and he's also relishing a different taste there. But the same Sachin Tendulkar, when he comes home and he's spending time with his family, children, wife, he's relishing a very intimate relish or rasa with them. So it is the same Sachin Tendulkar, but he's in different features when he's in differently placed. When he's placed in the cricket stadium as a batsman, when he's placed in the studio narrating the commentary, and when he's at home. So similarly, Krishna in his office form does the creation. And the creation pastime begins with this first verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the absolute truth, who creates these universes and maintains and destroys them. He's Abhigya, he's Swarat. So Bhagavan in his Aishwarya feature of creating. Then Krishna in his feature as a devotee, the topmost devotee, Srimati Radharani, he has come in the mood and the Kanti, the effulgence of Srimati Radharani to relish devotion unto himself only. So he has taken the role of a devotee. So he is in a different feature. But in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he is completely being seen as Rasaraj or Akhila Rasamrita Murti. So it's same Krishna in his different features. I gave this example of Sachin Tendulkar to, just get an understanding in our level of reality. Another example Srila Prabhupada gives in his lectures is of a High Court judge. The High Court judge is addressed in the High Court as, "Oh my Lord." He has a personal name, but he is addressed as, "Oh my Lord." Your Lordships, that's how the advocates address the judge. And he has his security guards, he has his, lot of Aishwarya feature. Even the servants, the clerk, the PA, they have a very different relationship with the judge there. It is more of awe and reverence. But the same judge, when he comes home with his family members, his mother might call him by his pet name, Kana or Kanaya. I don't know whether that judge name is so, but I'm just using it. So Krishna at his home in Golok is Kana or Kanaya, but in his office his name is Vishnu, Shrishti Karta. So it is the same Krishna, but in his different feature. So that's how we have to understand. So up till now, any questions you have before we start discussing this verse? Okay. Ratna Mataji has a question. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, what is the Vastu Nirdesh of Bhagavad Gita then?
The Vastu Nirdesh of Bhagavad Gita is Krishna himself. But as the absolute truth, that's it. Not more in detail. There is no, there is Siddhanta there. Tattva is there. And the verses like Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, Matta Sarvam Pravartate, Iti Matva Bhajante Mam, Buddha Bhava Samanvita, or Matta Paratara Nanyat Kinchis Asti Dhananjaya, 7.7 in the Bhagavad Gita, or you can take 10.8. The absolute truth is being established there, that he is Bhagavan. Bhagavan, is being established. So again, not more detail is there in the Bhagavad Gita, but the absolute truth is the supreme absolute truth is being established there.
But like how we took these verses as Vastu Nirdesh in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no particular shloka which defines it as it is?
Not really. It is not expressively defined like that, but definitely these verses refer to the absolute truth. The absolute truth is being established as Krishna. That's it. That's it, the Vastu Nirdesh. Or in the Ish Upanishads, if you see, Isha, Ishwar is the controller of this universe. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. So the Ish Upanishad speaks about the controller of everything in this universe. He is Ishwar. Ishwar is again the absolute truth only. But Ishwar is a very generic sense of referring to God as Ishwar. And that's why Isha Vasham Idam Sarvam Yatkin Jagatyam Jagat, like that. So there also the Vastu Nirdesh is Ishwar only, who is the controller of everything animate and inanimate. So here in the Bhagavad Gita, these verses also prove that 7.7 and 10.8, like that. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Any other questions before we go into now the verse explanation of Akhila Rasamrit Murti? Okay. So now let us go to the verse. I want to show you in the Veda base, the book you are studying, that is Nectar of Devotion. In the introduction, Prabhupada in one paragraph here has actually given the whole translation in his own words of this verse, Akhila Rasamrita Murti. So you can do a parallel study of the summary study of Nectar of Devotion along with the verse by verse which we are discussing, and you can make some parallel study and get a deeper understanding of Nectar of Devotion. Invoking auspiciousness, Prabhupada says, that is Mangalacharan. Lord Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the reservoir of all rasas, Akhila Rasamrit Murti, or relationships which are called neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parenthood, conjugal love, comedy. So all the rasas, Prabhupada is speaking about all the 12 rasas here. Akhila Rasamrit, he is composed embodiment of all the rasas in full. He is supreme attractive form, and by his universal and transcendental attractive features, he has captivated all the gopis headed by Taraka, Palika, Shama, Lalita, and ultimately Srimati Radharani. Let his lordship's grace be upon us, that there may not be any hindrance in the execution of this duty of writing nectarodation, impelled by his divine grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this is not there in the verse, but Prabhupada is offering his own Mangalacharan before writing the summary study. So in one sense, the Akhila Rasamrit Murti verse is how Prabhupada translates here. So I will show you in my own Nectar of Devotion book how I've done the parallel comparison, so that if you are interested to nicely study the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, you can also do this study and you will really relish it. So let us now come to this verse. Let us go to the explanation. Now, kindly hold on if you have any questions. I will discuss few slides and ask for questions, and then only you can ask. Let us have few discussions and then only we will take it up. Okay. So it was mentioned Vidu, Vidur Jayati. So what is the meaning of Vidu? Vidu indicates a general form of the Lord, one with Srivatsa, that is the Lord of Vaikuntha. But it specifically refers to Krishna here. So Vidu refers to Krishna here. Why? One reason. Vidu stands for Vidanoti. Vidanoti means to defeat. Person who surpasses everything, who defeats everyone. So the word Vidu in Sanskrit comes from the Vid dhatu, V, Vidanoti, as it is said, na? Dhunoti, Dhunoti means to clean, and Vidanoti means to completely clean. So Jiva Goswami in his commentary, we know that in Sanskrit, the various words have different meanings. So one of the meaning is a person who surpasses everything. That is Vidanoti. Vidanoti means defeats. He defeats everyone. He surpasses everyone. Then Vidanoti means, we know, Krishna cleans our heart. Shunvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Ridhantasto Hiabhadrani Vidanoti Surit Satam. So this verse, in the Bhagavatam 1 to 16 or 17. Shunvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Ridhantasto hi Abhadrani Vidanoti. Here again you can see Vidanoti, cleanses. So here another meaning of Vidanoti is what? Another meaning is that he destroys all suffering. All suffering. Kleshagni liberates even demons. So all the sufferings are because of the sins, and he cleanses all the sins. Kleshagni. So this can be one reason why Vidu is Vidanoti, and Vidanoti has these two different meanings. Vidanoti also Vidu also can be Vidadhati. Vidadhati means which produces. Vidanoti means defeats. He defeats sin. He surpasses everything. And Vidadhati means to produce. And what he produces? Produces all happiness. Or he causes everything. So this also Vidadhati or produces has two different meanings. Produces all happiness or causes everything. Now, let us see how Vidanoti, or he surpasses everything, can be established by giving some verse reference. How, Vidu, which stands for Vidanoti, that he destroys all suffering, can, be given as a verse. Which is a verse which can prove that. And similarly, Vidadhati, which produces all happiness and causes everything. We will see 4 references for these. Reason 1, A and B, and reason 2, A and B. Let us see first. Vidu stands for Vidanoti, defeats, and reason is 1A, surpasses all others. So this is there in the 3rd canto, 2nd chapter, Uddhav narrating to Vidura. Swayam tva asamyate shayas trayadisha Swarajya Lakshmi apta samasta kama Bhalim haradbish chiralokapale Kireetakotya edit padapita. Lord Shri Krishna is the Lord of all kinds of trees. Trayadish. He is the control of the three modes. Like that, he is Trayadish. He is the control of the three Purushas. So, like that, many Trayadishas is. And is independently supreme by achievement of all kinds of fortune. Swarajya Lakshmi apta samasta kama. He is worshipped by the eternal maintainers of creation, who offer him the paraphernalia of worship by touching their millions of helmets to his feet. Balim Haradbish Chiralokapale. Chiralokapala is what? The controllers of this universe, like even Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So they also worship Krishna. So Krishna surpasses even all the Gunavatars. He even surpasses the Lord of Vaikuntha or Narayan. And they worship him how? By touching their millions of helmets to his feet. And we know that this pastime is there in Dwarka when Brahmaji once came and knocked the door of Krishna's house. And one of the servants opened. So Brahmaji out of pride told, tell that Brahma has come to meet the Lord. Please, I want an appointment to have darshan of the Lord. So the servant went and told Krishna, Brahma has come. So Krishna asked, which Brahma has come? So the servant went and asked, which Brahma you are? Brahmaji was shocked. What is this? I thought I am the only one Brahma in this universe. So then he said, tell that Chaturmukhi Brahma, the four-headed Brahma has come. So then Krishna told, let him come in. So Brahma came, offered his obeisances, and then he gave a report of what is happening in the creation. Then he expressed his doubt very humbly. Is there any other Brahma? I thought I am the only one Brahma. Then Krishna started inviting the other Brahmas from other universes. Some were 8-headed Brahmas, some were 12-headed, some were 32-headed, some were 1,000-headed, some were 10,000-headed. And each of these Brahmas was, with all their helmets were offering obeisances to Krishna. And all these other Brahmas were not able to see other Brahmas, but they are only able to see Krishna. Sorry, there was some connection. There was some problem with the connection. So I was saying, all these other Brahmas were not able to see the other Brahmas. They were only able to see Krishna. They were only able to see Krishna. But the four-headed Brahma was able to see all other Brahmas, like the 32-headed Brahma, 1,000-headed Brahma. And then he understood, my goodness, I'm not the only one Brahma. There are millions of Brahmas in millions of bigger universes. And not only that, even the Guna avatars like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they are worshipable lords for Krishna. And we see this in the pastime in the 10th canto also. So in that sense, this verse proves that Krishna surpasses all others. All others are worshipable to him. Now the second, destroying all suffering. Now this is in the Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 9th chapter, 39 in Bhishma's praise. Vijay Rata Kutumbat Tatotre Thrita Haya Rashmini Tat Tri Ekshiniyae Bhagavati Ratirastu Me Mumukshura Yam Iha Nirikshahata Gata Swarupam. So how Krishna destroyed all the suffering, he destroys all suffering. This is the reference Jiva Goswami is giving. Desiring to die, Mumukshuhu, may I perform prema for the Lord. This is Bhishma speaking. Bhagavati Rati, Astume. Rati means let me develop love for our Lord. Who protected Arjuna's chariot? Vijay Ratha Kutumba. Kutumba means, just like the father has his own kutumba, the children, and the father personally protects the children. Similarly, Arjuna is like the family man of Krishna, and Krishna was himself protecting Arjuna. So Vijay Ratha Kutumba is referring to Arjuna's chariot. How? While holding a whip in his right hand. Atatotre. Atatotre means referring to the whip. The reins in his left hand. Dhrita Haya Rashmini. So he was protecting Arjuna by holding a whip and the reins, whose beauty must be seen. Tad Shri Ne Kshini. Akshini. Akshini. Akshiniye. Akshiniye means to see. So Arjuna was not able to see Krishna when he was on the battlefield, but all the enemies on the other side whom Arjuna was battling, they were able to have darshan of Krishna. And just by having darshan of Krishna, what happened? And who bestowed liberation to those who died on the battlefield after seeing him. Yam iha niriksha hata hata gata swarupam. Hata means they died, gata means they went, and they attained their swarup. That means they attained liberation. So they attained liberation, and Krishna, just by giving darshan, he destroyed all the suffering of all the enemies who were killed by Arjuna. So in this way, Vidu, which stands for Vidunoti, that is defeats, the second reason is what? Destroying all suffering. So destroying all suffering, this is the verse. Now let us come to Vidadhati, produces all happiness. Now let us see which is the verse. Again, it is the third canto, second chapter, Uddhava reciting. Yanmartyalilopakekam swayoga mayabalam darshayata grihitam vishmapanam swasya cha sobagaradde parampadam bhushanangam. The Lord appeared in this mortal world by his internal potency, Yoga Maya. He came in his eternal form, which is just suitable for his pastimes. Yan Martya Leela Upake, so yoga. These pastimes were wonderful for everyone, even for those proud of their own opulence, including the Lord himself in his form as the Lord of Vaikunta. Thus, his, Sri Krishna's transcendental body is the ornament of all ornaments. So even the Lord of Vaikunta is attracted by the pastime. He gives happiness to even the Lord of Vaikunta. So we know this pastime in the 10th canto it comes, where Mahavishnu stole the son of a Brahmana. The son of a Brahmana died in Dwarka, and the father came, and then ultimately Krishna and Arjuna went in search, and ultimately they found that this son was there with Mahavishnu, because Mahavishnu was attracted also to the beauty of Krishna, and he wanted to have darshan of Krishna. So this is how Krishna gives even happiness to other avatars like Mahavishnu or the Lord of Vaikunta. So that is why he produces happiness, and that is why Vidadhati, this is the reference he gives. Then he is the causes of all causes, source of all others. Krishna is the cause of all causes. So which verse you can think which will prove that Krishna is the cause of all causes? Kindly raise your hand. Which verse you can quote to prove Krishna is the cause of all causes or the source of all others? There is one devotee who has raised. I would like to see others. Yeah, Priya Prabhakar has raised her hand. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. 10.8 from Bhagavad Gita, Prabhu. Aham sarvasya prabhava matta
Yeah,
sarvam.
he is the cause of cause. In the Bhagavatam, any reference you can give how Krishna is established as the cause of all causes? Ratna Mataji? Yes, Mataji.
I don't remember the shloka, but there is a verse which says Sarva Karana Karanam.
That is in the Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigra
The Vigraha.
Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana
Sarva
Karanam.
Karana Karanam.
Cause of all causes. That is from the Brahma Samhita. From the Bhagavatam. Any verse from the Bhagavatam? Okay. Devendra Prabhu has raised his hand. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I think the first verse only, Janmadhyasya.
No. Cause of all
Okay.
causes. He is the cause of all other avatars also. Govinda Prabhuji. Yes.
एते चांस कलापुंस कृष्णस्तु भगवान स्वयं इंद्रारि व्याकुलं.
Yes, that is the verse. Ete chamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Krishna is avatari and all others are avatars. All the list of incarnations of Godhead submitted herein, Ete, are either plenary expansions or parts of plenary expansions of the Supreme Godhead. Ete amsha kalapumsa. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. So he is the source of others. So for these four reasons, Vidanoti surpasses and destroys all suffering. Vidadhati produces all happiness. He produces happiness even to the Lord of Vaikunta, Mahavishnu, and he is the source of others. These are the verses. There are many references, but only for each of them I have taken only one reference. Brahma Samhita first verse is also a reference. So because of these four references, Vidur Jayati excels all others. He excels all others. He excels all others. One with most excellent qualities, only Krishna. Later on in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami established Siddhantatas tu abhedapi Shrishna Krishna Swarupayo Rasotkarsheta Krishna Rupam Esha Rasa Sthiti. He'll say that Siddhanta, based on Siddhanta, there is no difference between Narayan, Krishna, Matsya, Kurma, or any other avatars. But Rasa Utkarshena, based on Rasa, Krishna Rupam, Krishna, is having the highest qualities. And then Esha Rasa Sthiti. This is the situation according to Rasa. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu will establish how Krishna has 64 qualities. Narayan has 60 qualities, whereas Krishna has 64 qualities, 4 qualities which are unique in him, which are not present in all other avatars. Based on Siddhanta, there is no difference, but based on Rasa, there is difference. Rasa Utkarshena, Krishna Rupam, what? Isha Rasa Sthiti. Krishna is superior in this form. So that is how Vidu Jayati refers to Krishna, and not exactly Vishnu here. Specifically, it refers to Krishna. So now we just studied what is the meaning of Vidu. Now let us come to the next. Krishna Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Why does Krishna show these 4 supreme qualities? Destroys suffering, surpasses all, produces all happiness, source of all. Because he is Akhila Rasamrita Murti, form of supreme bliss, Amrita Murti, since he contains the 12 rasas, Akhila Ras. So Krishna's form has these qualities where he can, do all these 4 reasons which we mentioned. And all these 12 rasas are fully manifested in Krishna. So these 12 rasas are fully manifested in Krishna. Where is the proof in the Bhagavatam? Anyone knows, even the first line of the verse can raise their hand. Where is the proof that Krishna is the Akhila Rasamrit Munti. He contains all the 12 rasas in full. Nobody can go and sit and joke with Narayan. Hasya you cannot have fully with Narayan, but only with Krishna you can do in Golok. So where is the proof in the Bhagavatam that Krishna is the embodiment of all the 12 rasas? Even the first line of the Bhagavatam, if you quote it, is sufficient. Anyone would like to try? Raise their hands. Anyone knows? It is a very famous verse in the Bhagavatam. Mallanam ashnirnam naravara strinam smaro murtiman Gopanam swajano satam shitibujam shasta swapitra shishu Rityu bhojapater virad avidusham tatvam param yoginam Krishninam paradevate vitito rangam gata sagraja. So this is the verse narrated by Sukadeva Goswami when Krishna in Mathura is entering the wrestling arena of Kamsa, and all are seated there in the stadium, and how everyone is seeing Krishna based on their perception. Mallanam Ashrinranam. Those wrestlers, Chanur and Mushtik, when they saw him as thunderbolt. Strinam Smaro Murtinam. The Striyas saw him as Cupid. So different people, based on their rasa with Krishna, they saw Krishna differently. And we give this example, just like there is a cow on the street. For a person who is driving a car, it is an obstacle. For a Brahmana, it is object of worship. For a tiger, it is object of flesh. So they are perceiving the same object, but their perceptions are different. Similarly, based on rasa, all the people in the arena saw Krishna differently. So let us see how everyone saw Krishna. Mallanam Ashnir, that is Chanur and Mushtik, the wrestlers saw him as thunderbolt. Ashnir means thunderbolt. So there was Veer Rasa. So the Veer Rasa manifested. Nrinam Naravara. The Mathura men saw him as the best of the males. So this is Vismay Rasa. Strinam Smaro Murtinam. The woman saw as Cupid, Madhuri Ras. The women saw him as Cupid. Gopanam Swajano. So now you can tell me which rasa is it referring to in Krishna? The Gopanam saw as Swajano. Which rasa? Please raise your hand and answer. Okay, there are 3 participants who have raised their hand. I am also enthusiastic to know where they are, but let us see. Harinam Sankirtan Prabhu has raised his hand. Let us give him chance first. Yes, Harinam Sankirtan Prabhu. You'll have to speak. I have unmuted you. Harinam Sankirtan Prabhu. There is no response there. Okay, then let us, Ratna Mataji.
Sakhya Ras, Prabhu.
Yes, Sakya Ras. And how was the scene? When Krishna is going in the arena, their friends are there. Oh, our Krishna is now going there. Which other rasa also can come along with Sakya Ras? Can you just think about it? Raise your hand if you know. Which another ras can also join? Along with the Mukhya Ras, which other Gauna Ras can join? Think about it. Anyone could like to answer? Devendra Prabhuji?
Fear.
No, they don't have any fear. The Gopas don't have any fear. Nitya Sevini Mataji, yes?
Hasya?
Yes, it is Hasya Ras. I think so, it is Hasya Ras.
Yes.
Hasya Ras. Because Krishna was killing the demons and the friends were always in Braj. They knew Krishna, and they were always enjoying these pastimes of killing. So they were having no fear. So they were nicely relishing and laughing when Krishna was entering the arena. Asatam Shiti Bhujam Shashta. Shashta means the punisher. Asatam. Asatam refers to the Sata refers to the devotees. Asatam refers to the non-devotees. So which ras here? Raise your hand. Which ras here? Shasta is punisher. The non-devotees, he is the punisher. So which rasa it indicates? Kindly raise your hands, if you know. Okay, there are 2 hands. Harinam Sankirtan Prabhu is now again available. Let us see. Yes, Prabhuji, I have unmuted you. Again, there is no response. There is some problem with your audio. Please check your audio. Devendra Prabhu?
Bhayanak.
Yes, they were fearful. Let us see. Raudra Ras. Chastiser is not Bhayanak, it is Raudra Ras. Impious rulers as chastiser. Raudra. Swapitru is Vatsalya and Karuna. They go along with each other. Vatsalya is the Pitra. Pitra means the parents, those who are in Vatsalya Ras. Oh, what will happen to my child? So their heart was filled with Karuna. Mrityu Bhojapate. Mrityu Bhojapate here is Bhayanak Ras, death for Kamsa. Virad Avidusham. This is Vibhatsya Ras, unelegant as Virat Rupa. So that's why when Arjuna saw the Virat Rupa in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he was filled with, Vibhatsya Ras. Vibhatsya Ras manifested there. Tattvam Param Yoginam. Who will answer this? Tattvam Param Yoginam. Which rasa? Yes, Ratna Mataji.
Shantaras, Prabhu.
Yes, it is Shantras. Vrishninam Paradevata. Who will answer this? Devendra Prabhu has raised his hand. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, only one is left, Dasyarat.
There is Dasyaras. So Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. These are the 5 rasas. Then Veeraras 1, Vismayaras 2, Hasyaras 3, Raudraras 4, 5th is Karunaras, 6th is Bhayanakras, and 7th is Bibhatsaras 7. So 5 plus 7 is 12 ras. All the rasas were manifested in this arena. Now let us go to the next explanation. Prasmara Ruchi Ruddha Taraka Pali. One can understand the supreme position of a person by assessing the supreme nature of his followers. There is a saying, you can know the spiritual master by what kind of followers he has. If the disciples are very dedicated to spiritual master, then you can understand the quality of the spiritual master. So similarly, if you can know the position of a person by assessing his followers. So who are the followers of Krishna? Followers of Krishna display the highest qualities of rasa towards him. This is explained in this phrase, Prasmara Ruchi Ruddha Taraka Pali. This phrase it is explained. Also, the order of naming indicates the successive superiority of the gopis. There is successive superiority. First, Taraka and Pali I explained. Then there is higher succession. Let us see what is it. Lowest are Taraka. She is Vipaksha. She is in Chandravali's gop. And then Pali. Pali is another gopi. She is in the neutral. She is neutral both to Radharani's group and Chandravali's group. Krishna controls them. Ruddha. How does he control? By his beautiful features, Ruchi, which radiates outwards. Prasmara. Prasmara means it splendidly radiates outwards. So, the lowest gopis, Krishna controls them by his beautiful features. This is the meaning of Prasmara Ruchi Ruddha Taraka Pali. Then what is Khalita Shama Lalita? Krishna accepts or embraces them. Kalita, Shamala. Shamala is, it's not Supaksha, it is Surid Paksha. Sorry, that was the mistake there. Just today only Surit Paksha, it is not friendly. And then Lalita. Lalita, we all know Lalita. She is Swapaksha. She is in the group of Srimati Radharani. So Krishna embraces them. So there is more intimacy here, you can see. Then last line of that verse is Radha Prayan. Here, Krishna gives most pleasure to Radha. Radha Prayan is being mentioned. That means Krishna serves Srimati Radharani. Priya means to please, becoming the agent noun Priya. So Priya means to please, and Priya means he who endeavors to please. And Prayan is the comparative form of Priya, means he who endeavors to please to the utmost. So Krishna to the utmost tries to please Srimati Radharani, Radha Prayan. Now you observed here that the gopis, that is, Taraka Pali, they are in two gopis names are taken. Krishna controls them. Then Shamala and Lalita, they are two gopis. Krishna embraces them. But only one name of gopi is being taken, that is Srimati Radharani. So that shows that she is the chief amongst gopis. So her position is highest. So she's been addressed singularly here. Lesser gopis are in pairs, but Radha is special, therefore chief gopi. So the superiority of Radharani is there. We saw this in the Nectar of Devotion instruction. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu Tasya Kundam Priyam Tata Sarva Gopishu Sevika Vishnur Atyanta Vallabha Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarva Kanti Sammohini Para. Radhika is the supreme devata. Radhika Paradevata, non-different from Krishna. She is the embodiment of all opulence and all beauty. Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarva Kanti. She is the supreme enchanter. Sammohini Para. So that is the supremacy of Srimati Radha Rani. If the subject matter of the book is Akhila Rasamrita Murti Krishna, then why does the verse mention only about Madhurya Leela pastimes? So we see that, only the pastimes with the gopi, Taraka, Pali, Shamala, Lalita, and then Srimati Radharani. Why only Madhurya Ras pastimes are discussed? The reason is, in Shant, there is Shant Das, Shant Rati. In Das, there is Shant as well as Das. In Sakya, there is Shant, Dasya, and Sakya. In Vatsalya, there is Shant, Dasya, Sakya, and Vatsalya. And in Madhurya, there is Shant, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So in Madhurya, all are there. That is why it is only discussing Madhurya pastimes. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the creation is described from a different angle. Just like, sound has only, ether has only sound. So there is only one quality. Then there is air. Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, Mano. So Kham is ether. Ether has only one thing, that is sound. Then there is air, sound as well as touch. Then in fire, there is sound, there is touch, and there is form. And then there is water. In water, there is sound, there is touch, there is form, and there is taste. But in earth, there is also what? Smell. So in earth, there are all the 5 qualities which are manifested, which are not manifested in other elements. Similarly, in Madhurya, there is Vatsalya, Sakya, Dasya, and Shant. That's why only Madhuri Leela pastimes have been mentioned in this verse. So this is the verse Akhila Rasamrita Murti. There is another explanation of the verse in a very poetic way, which we will not be discussing because it is very, very philosophical and it is not necessary for us to know it. So that finishes our discussion for today. Any questions you have regarding today's discussion about Akhila Rasamrita Murti? Now, actually, usually when the students are there live, we do a lot of interaction where we recite the verse. Each of the students recites the verse and practically memorizes the verse. And then each line, what is Akhila Rasamrita Murti? Then what is meaning of Vidu? What are the different meanings of Vidu? Vidu stands for Vidunoti, Vidu stands for Vidadati. And Vidunoti, there can be two reasons. And Vidadati, there can be two reasons. Which are the verses? What is the meaning of Prasmara Ruchi Ruddha Taraka Pali? What is the meaning of Khalita Shama Lalita? And what is the meaning of Radha Prayan? We discuss like that, make it more interactive and then we discuss it. But here on the Zoom live, it's not so practical. So I've tried my level best to explain this verse. So any questions, any clarifications you have? So then we will stop here. Remaining other verses are very, very simple until we come to the verse Anyabhilashita Sunyam, definition of pure devotional service. That will take almost 1 or 2 classes, in fact, it might take. Other verses now in the Mangala Charana are very simple, that we will take up in the next week. So we will stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Shri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.